Hello, Charleston, and welcome to this week's edition of Navigate Your Wealth, brought to you by the team of Compass Financial. I'm your host, Kristin Oakley, and joining me in the studio, we have the CEO of Compass Financial, Karen Stawicki. And if you would like to know how that you can legally pay the least amount of tax to the IRS that you are required to pay, you are not going to want to miss today's show. Karen, my friend, I know this is a subject you are extremely passionate about. I'm excited to get right into it with you.
Thank you. I am very passionate about it indeed. Thank you.
Yes. Well, it's been said that the biggest detriment to one's retirement is taxes. In fact, 99% of individuals who have $1 million IRA balances or larger are making 4 common mistakes in a certain area. So the title of today's show is the 4 greatest Roth conversion mistakes. Karen, to start off, we need to unpack this and help folks understand, first of all, what are we talking about when we talk about Roth conversions?
I'm glad that you brought that up. It's very, very important for you to understand that a Roth contribution and a Roth conversion are very, very different. I had a client ask me recently, or mention to me, that she was not able to do any Roth conversions because she makes too much income. And what she was referring to is that she is correct. She is not able to make a Roth contribution because there is an income threshold. But as of 2010, anybody with any amount of income, as you'll hear in the stories that we tell today, are able to do Roth conversions. And if you do them right, you're going to be very happy. And we're going to try and unpack some mistakes that you don't want to make so that you don't do them wrong today.
Absolutely. Well, and as we teased up, that income taxes will become most folks' largest annual expense in retirement, but engaging in Roth conversions allows you to mitigate that tax liability. But let's talk about these 4 common mistakes, because as Karen said, we want to make sure that you avoid making them as well. The first one's really interesting. It's trying to top off your current tax bracket. Now, most people are going to try to fill their current tax bracket when they're doing these Roth conversions and then just stop. But you're saying that that's actually a mistake. So let's talk about that.
It is. And it seems sensible, right? If you are, if you've got $100,000 left to go in the bracket that you are last hitting, it makes sense that you should stop at that extra $100,000. But here's the problem that you're not taking into consideration. When you stop, the IRA money is still growing. And so you're chasing after the growth and the conversion and sometimes it's better to just rip off the Band-Aid and do it quicker. So a lot of people don't understand, but the short-term pain will definitely be worth the long-term gain. And we will run the numbers so that you can exactly see that as well.
Yes, and I know you've had an example of someone that you've walked through that very conversation with. Share about that.
Well, and this was an incredible, and not everybody has this fortune, but this individual has over $10 million in her IRA. And so typically we do a Roth conversion over 5 years. But think about it. If you divide $10 million by 5, that would be $2 million a year. And even at $2 million, you're going to be in the top bracket. So we talked about it and we discussed it. And for her, she said, no, I want to rip off the Band-Aid, pay the taxes in 1 year, because now instead of doing it over 5, she's got in day 1 of that first year, that money in the Roth IRA, which is growing 100% for she and her family, and not still in a joint account with the IRS.
Amazing. And to your point, that might seem a little counterintuitive, right, for folks to rip off that Band-Aid, but not doing so could be a mistake.
That's right. Well, and we do a tax burden analysis for all of our clients, and you'll see when we do that analysis for you, if you call in and have us help you with this, that when you look at, in most cases, doing the tax Roth conversion over 5 years, you will actually pay about 1/4 than if you do the Roth conversion or you do the normal distribution over your lifetime. So that's a whole nother story. But getting it done quicker is definitely the way to do it.
Absolutely. Well, that brings us to our second mistake that we need to unpack today. And this is a really fascinating one. We say on the show almost every week that how you make a decision in one area of your financial life can and will affect all the others. And this mistake really highlights that key point. The second mistake is trying to keep your income below the IRMAA amount. So IRMAA stands for Income Related Monthly Adjustment Amount, that comes into play with Medicare. basically what can happen is if you have too much money, too much income, you can get what's called a Medicare surcharge and end up paying way more for your Medicare than you otherwise would.
Basically, they just make your Social Security check smaller, but it's another tax.
Exactly. They're sneaky that way, right?
Yes, they are.
So talk about why it's a mistake to try to keep your income when you're doing these Roth conversions below that IRMAA amount.
Well, it's a huge mistake because the Roth conversion, again, if you do it over 3, 4, 5 years, whatever makes sense, then once that period is over, then your income now is all 100% tax-free if it's all in a Roth IRA. And so now your Medicare surcharge goes back down to the minimum. So ask yourself this question. If you can do it over 3, 4, or 5 years, how long are you going to live? If you know you have a short life expectancy, this may not be the solution for you. But if you've got good genes and you're planning on living a long, fruitful life, then let's pay the price for a few years, because then for the rest of your life, you're going to have that Medicare surcharge be at the minimum, which is really great. Now, one other thing I do want to bring up, Kristin, I know you and I talked about this earlier. I have a client right now who is 59 years old. If you are 62 or younger, please pay special attention, because if we can get your Roth conversion done before you even are old enough to apply for Medicare, then when you get to Medicare, you're not going to have the surcharge, because this won't be the issue. Because the issue is those lovely tax-deferred dollars that we love so much when we were accumulating them and when we were growing them are now biting us back, because we got to pay tax on them to get them to the other side. So in this particular case, this client at 59, we're going to do the Roth conversions over the next, actually 3 years. She wants to retire at 62. And when we did the whole schedule and showed her what her income looks like at 62, she is going to have 100% of her income tax-free. Her Social Security, which is going to be about $32,000 a year, will also be tax-free for a good number of years, of course, until the government decides that they're going to tax that more than they're taxing it now. But with the plan we have in place right now and the laws that we have right now, by getting this conversion done before she hits Medicare age, she's not going to have to worry about that surcharge.
And what a blessing to just know that it's taken care of, right? To your point, sometimes it feels hard to pay the tax when you're doing the conversion because you have to do that, but to rip that Band-Aid off and then know that she's going to have tax-free income for the rest of her life, that's amazing.
Listen, I know this sounds counterintuitive, but if you're listening and you're wondering if we can help you, please pick up the phone and give us a call. At Compass Financial, we want to create a retirement roadmap for you. And in that retirement roadmap, Social Security analysis, doing Roth conversions, looking at your income plan, looking at tax strategies for you are all part of that complimentary review. You deserve to find out how to pay the least amount of taxes legally possible.
Wonderful. Karen, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, if you would like to claim your complimentary retirement roadmap from Karen and the team of Compass Financial, it's really simple. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call that number that you see on the bottom of your screen, 855-348-3073. Or if you have your smartphone handy but you'd rather not talk to someone right now, we got you covered. Simply pull it out. You can open up that camera app. Just point, click, and scan that QR code that you see down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That will take you over to a landing page, ask you a few short, simple questions, and then a member of the team from Compass Financial will reach out to connect with you to schedule your appointment to come in and receive your complimentary retirement roadmap that way as well. Don't go anywhere. We have some more key mistakes that we want to make sure you avoid. We'll cover those right after this.